What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Pokemon Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle. Today, I've got another never used match. This one is against Jerk Bears. So I'm using the same team as I was in the previous two videos just because this team's pretty damn fun to use, not gonna lie. But, so if you're not familiar with the theme based around this team, essentially, I tried to set up hazards being Stealth Rock and Spikes, and then be able to force switches with things like Future Sight and Dragon Tail, as well as being able to punish switches with a Choice Banded Sneasel that does carry Pursuit. So, looking at my opponent's team, I am worried about things like the Miniar being able to set up Shell Smash. Some other things I am worried about is the Exploud, if that thing's Choice Specs. It can obviously do some really solid damage to me. He's also got some things like the Slowbro, which is always a threat. And yeah, so honestly, let's go ahead and just hop right into the battle here. Alright, so I was expecting him to lead off with his Miniar just for the Stealth Rock support, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw out my Dredagon. Legos is out here ready to be stepped on, as he does actually end up leading off with his yellow Miniar. Dude comes out here looking all happy and stuff. So he's going to activate the shields down, obviously going to go ahead and hide behind his little rock shit. And at this point, I'm just going to go straight for the Stealth Rock, as this thing goes for a first turn Shell Smash, which honestly is very risky. Going for the setup moves on the first turn doesn't usually pay off for you, but he goes for the Shell Smash there. I'm just going to go ahead and throw up some Stealth Rock, as he actually does have his White Herb, so he's going to bring his stat drops back to normal. So not too big of a deal here, as I'm honestly not that scared of this thing if it sets up early game, because like I said, I do have Dragon Tail. So he's going to actually Shell Smash yet again, which is normally going to be pretty scary, although I just go ahead and click Dragon Tail, which is going to send this thing the hell out of here. And with the defense drop, it's actually going to do a solid chunk of damage, plus this thing has to come into Stealth Rock later, so not too worried about your little Meteor guy, and smack you with my fat ass tail, and that sends him right on out of there, and it actually drags out the Slowbro. So I'm not too stoked about this matchup. I don't want to take an Ice Beam to the face because Dredagon is looking pretty useful for later. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and switch. I decide to go right into Sneasel. I'm expecting the Ice Beam. A lot of Slowbros don't carry it, but I figured this was a safe switch option as I bring out my my pink Sneasel. He comes out here blessing you because you're sneezing and shit, but he goes for the Thunder Wave actually, which I was not expecting, and that is quite unfortunate because Sneasel kind of relies on its speed, so being paralyzed is pretty bad there. So I thought about going for the Pursuit here, trying to catch it on a switch, but I decided actually just to go for the knockoff. He actually stays in. It does a really great amount of damage, as he's actually just going to stay in and go for a Scald. I'm guessing he was expecting it to be a 2-hit KO, but I'm actually able to take that rather nicely, and he has to switch out his Slowbro. He's going to get that Regenerator, so he gets a little bit of health back, as he's going to go into his Pyukumuku, which you don't see these things a lot. Honestly, these weird little, like, throw up sea anemone things, I don't know, but I go for the knockoff. I get rid of his Rocky Helmet, but I get hit by it first, so that kind of sucks. But one thing I did notice from the look of his team is that he doesn't have a Defogger or a Rapid Spinner, so I decided to take advantage of that, and I'm going to go ahead and switch right into Get Glad my Gardevoir, as unfortunately he actually goes for the Taunt, so that's kind of unfortunate. I can't go for my setup moves here going for Spikes, so I have to go for the Seed Bomb. I kind of expected that to maybe kill. Unfortunately, it does not, as he gets a solid Pain Split there, so he's going to bring himself back way above half, brings me a little bit above half as well, so does a solid amount of damage to me, as I'm actually just going to go for a Gunk Shot. The reason being was to try to get a Poison. I knew that Seed Bomb wasn't going to be too big of a deal. I know that these things probably carry Recover most of the time anyway. I actually do end up getting the Poison, which is amazing, as he tries to go for a Toxic. Not going to affect me. Obviously, I am Poison type, so I'm guessing he expected me to switch out there, so the Taunt does end, and I'm faster, so that allows me to go ahead and throw out one layer of Spikes, which is going to be really useful here. I have Stealth Rock and one layer of Spikes up now, as this thing is going to go for another Pain Split. Honestly, Pyukumuku is pretty annoying. I don't know what they do mainly other than taunt and kind of just soak stuff and make them water type, so that way you can poison them, but I'm just going to go ahead and throw out another layer of Spikes, seeing as there isn't really any way he can get rid of these hazards, so I'm taking advantage of that for sure, as he ends up going for a Recover there, which is going to bring him back to a pretty healthy amount. I'm not really too worried about the Pyukumuku, seeing as I have stuff on my team that can handle it. I really just wanted to get Garbodor out here to be able to set up my hazards to make this game go a lot easier. So he's actually going to go ahead and switch out. He decides to go into the Miniar here. Going to get absolutely destroyed by the Stealth Rock, and then I go for a nice little Seed Bomb, and that is actually going to take care of the little Meteor guy. So sorry to do it to you, buddy. You didn't get your Shell Smash sweep that you were expecting. So down goes that thing, and that's a good sight. So now he's going to bring out the Salazzle. So check this out. He gets destroyed by Stealth Rock, and then the 2 layer of Spikes are really going to kind of take its toll on this thing, as I'm actually just going to go ahead and switch right into my Slowking. I have a Assault Vest Slowking Slowking who can take pretty much any special attack in the damn game. Like, honestly, this thing really doesn't even give a shit, even if it's super effective. But he goes with the Flamethrower. I actually am going to get the burn on this, which is unfortunate. Doesn't really matter because obviously I'm a special attacker. I just don't have leftovers, so I'm going to be getting whittled down a little bit by that. But I'm going to go ahead and actually just set up a future sight here. I figured that'd be really useful to kind of force switches and stuff here. So I go for the future sight as he brings out my younger sister, freaking Slowbro. So this thing's gonna get hurt by the Stealth Rock and the spikes, definitely takes a toll as I do go for the future sight. But honestly, the good part about future sight is a lot of people sleep on this thing. They forget about it and then bring in switches that can't take it and stuff. So I figured it's a good time to set that up. My other option was just to go for Scald. So I'm glad I set that up, as at this point I'm gonna switch into my Miss Maggie, as the Slowbro is gonna go for a Slack Off, which does kind of suck, although I do have a solid matchup here in Miss Maggie. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up a Nasty Plot. I figure this thing is definitely gonna switch out. He wants to conserve his Slowbro as much as possible, as he's gonna go right back into his cat. I'm guessing this dude's cat like barfs a lot or something, I don't know. But I do go ahead and set up my Nasty Plot here, and I don't have to do anything to this this Pukimuku, because I do still have the future sight up, and that is going to take its attack now, which is gonna take care of this thing. So that does a solid amount of damage there, and that's a pretty annoying Pokemon out of the way, even though I could have just Shadow Balled it. But yeah, the thing's gone, and at this point he's gonna bring right back into the Salazzle, who has only switched into hazards at this point and has taken so much damage. So I'm actually not going to be faster than this thing because Salazzle's fast as hell, but he goes for a Flamethrower, and Miss Maggie is relatively naturally bulky, so I'm actually able to take that, and he actually kills himself to his Life Orb there. But I really should have gone for another Nasty Plot. I don't think it really mattered. I kind of just Shadow Balled the air there, but not really too big of a deal, as now he's going to bring in his Venusaur. I do have Mystical Fire on this Miss Maggie. I decided actually just to go for the Ghost EMZ with the Shadow Ball slot. So he actually ends up switching right into the Slowbro here. I don't know why he went into the Venusaur and then went right into the Slowbro. But either way, after the hazards, I'm going to go ahead and activate the Z power here. Go ahead and make some weird-ass arms come out of an underworld or whatever the hell happens with this move. So I hate to do it to you, Slowbro, because I love you as a Pokemon, but I'm gonna have to give you this nice little never-ending nightmare. So, like I said, some weird shit comes out of like some crazy underworld Stranger Things type stuff, and that is definitely gonna kill the paw there. So hate to see you go, buddy, but it kind of had to happen. And at this point, it's looking like Miss Maggie has a good opportunity to potentially sweep here. So now he brings out the Exploud, and this is the main thing that I'm worried about when it comes to Miss Maggie. Although I do get a solid amount of damage from the hazards, I'm just going to go straight for a Mystical Fire. I wasn't actually expecting it to kill. It leaves it with like 10 HP, but I do get the special attack drop, and check this out. He has to go for Surf because he obviously can't go for Boom Burst. I don't know what other moves he was rocking, but thanks to the special attack drop, I'm able to live that with 3 HP, which is amazing. And then one more Mystical Fire will take care of the Exploud. So that was intense right there. I honestly was not expecting to live that, but the special attack drop for Mystical Fire honestly comes in clutch quite a bit. So now he brings right back in the Venusaur. All he can really do here is kind of just take a Mystical Fire to the fat face, and that is going to be a dead Venusaur. So that's going to be the end of the game there. The hazards were definitely very useful. This was kind of just a classic example of how this team is supposed to work. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and hit that like button on this video if you enjoyed, and I will try to get some more Wi-Fi battles up as soon as possible. Thanks, guys.